like to thank you for the opportunity to be able to be here today and work with our server colleagues. The regional center today, working closely with the AfriGeo Center. This conference is very, very important, and we're glad to see the use of bringing technology and development together, bringing technological solutions to development problems to be able to assist in tackling the challenges in Kenya and throughout the region. I'd like to say I'm thankful to our friends at Servier at NASA. Thank you very much, Doctor, for the presentation. The work that we do to bring technology, space technology, together to bring development solutions together around the world is something I've had the opportunity to work with in various regions, and glad to see how effectively it's working here.
On behalf of the Group on Earth Observations, the GEO Secretariat, I'd like to thank you for the kind invitation to be here. I'd like to acknowledge the role that RCMRD is now going to play with AfriGeo and extend our thanks to South Africa, to the Department of Science and Innovation for their continued support, and to SANSA for their support as well.
I'm very pleased today. Very, very happy to have our guest of honor. Those of you who have been here the past 2 years, you've seen how this conference has grown from its inception in 2017. This time, after 2 years, we are able to have the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya gracing it. So please help me give him a round of applause for honoring this invitation. It doesn't surprise me, though, because besides being a politician, he's a scientist like all of you, and he definitely gets it in terms of what geospatial information can do for the major government programs. So, dear delegates of the 3rd RCMRD International Conference and the 4th AfriGeo Symposium, I would like to welcome you to the Regional Center on behalf of myself and the entire staff of the center. Some of you have been here the past 2 years. We always appreciate you making the journeys to come here and share what you're doing in the different areas you're operating. From its inception 3 years ago, the conference is aimed at providing a platform for scientists, geospatial practitioners, and industry players to discuss Earth observation technologies, applications, and information successes and challenges, and how best this can be used to inform policy. You do a lot of wonderful work. The science of where everything we do has a location element. So any planning that does not have this cannot go very far. But most of it, we keep it to ourselves. So having a forum like this, where we bring policymakers, the innovators, and the students to be able to share what they are doing is what RCMRD was mainly set up for. So we want to continue doing this and give this as a platform for sharing. For the students who are here, I want you to use this opportunity to link up with more seasoned researchers here. Learn, because this is an area that is going to grow. Yesterday when we were introducing, I told you about 3 things that make this fundamental. I told you in our day and age, we have had the chance to see a growth in capacity to do Earth observations. Many years ago, being able to get a satellite image of 30-meter resolution was not usual. But today, you can be able to see anything. We have drones picking whatever we are doing. The second element I said was connectivity. With broadband, with mobile phones, now you can communicate anywhere. Any information can be able to move. And then the third element I mentioned was computing capacity. When we began, when we were students, our computers could hardly process even a simple algorithm. You would have to leave it running the whole night. But now you can be able to crunch data from across the continent within seconds. Computing capacity has grown. But how much of that have we harnessed as Africans, as African countries? So I want to challenge us to say that there's a lot we can be able to do. RCMRD as a center wants to provide that platform. There is the capacity we bring, but we believe there's a lot more amongst you. Come here. We want to develop this as the hub for geospatial. Let us use it as a thinking ground to inform the politicians who want to do all wonderful things for us. So, Mr. Deputy President, I won't say much more. I just want to challenge our colleagues to do all we can to support the work you're doing so that the lives of our people are improved. That's the whole objective. So I thank you so much for gracing our occasion, and I want to request the CS to come and make her remarks and invite you to address this gathering. Thank you very much.
I'm pleased to be here this morning for the opening of this third conference of the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development and the fourth Afro-Geo Symposium. Your Excellency, thank you for coming and to grace this occasion. This workshop, Your Excellency, brings together participants from the academia, applications and software developers, hardware manufacturers, geospatial data producers, vendors, researchers, and policymakers under the theme Earth Observations for Evidence-Based Decision-Making. Your Excellency, this for us as a ministry is an important conference because science and technology is now at the center of decision-making. It is important for all of us to come together, to engage, and to participate so that we inform policy and decisions that will inform how our governments are run, how we provide services to our people, and how we bequeath a better planet to future generations. Evidence-based decision-making is of particular interest to the public, to Kenyans, because, Your Excellency, we struggle with resources, not just in Kenya, but globally. Land is becoming scarce, and unless we use science to inform land use, then we'll have problems in deciding what to do with the challenges we face. We must strive to improve the management of our land resources with technology that is field operations for data acquisition, storage, and analysis, and to make it easier for our citizens to engage with government through science and technology. However, geospatial technologies alone cannot solve our problems. We must bring it to our people and engage with them. We must discuss it at the lowest unit, at our villages, in our towns, in our cities. So we must break down the complexities of science to daily decision-making. We must also deliberately engage with governments, because as scientists, we develop good products, good innovations, but unless we engage with policymakers, it is difficult for us as governments to see the benefits of your innovations. I want to conclude by expressing my gratitude to the organizers of this conference, to UDG, to NASA, to USAID, and everybody who has participated, because it is such engagements that will bring solutions quicker to the communities that we serve. I am particularly grateful to the participants who've come here every year for the last 3 years to support us in bringing forward these innovations so that we can use them to develop and enrich policy. I wish all of you every success as you deliberate. We look forward to the outcome of your deliberations, because as government, we would like to engage with you and use your innovations to better serve our people.
How are you guys? Welcome. On behalf of the government of Kenya and the people of Kenya, I want to welcome all of you to this third RCMRD International Conference and the fourth Afro-Geo Symposium here in Nairobi. Aside from my public duty, I am also a very proud scientist, and I'm happy to be amongst friends. Development leadership in our time is monumentally challenging work that is severely constrained from two quarters. First, constraint relates to the urgency with which we must optimally deploy existing resources to staff off ever-mounting demands and shortages. Related to this are not just the questions of increasing numbers of people, but also the conditions of poverty, inequality, and unemployment that stalk them. The second constraint relates to the fact that often policy is generated using the best available data, which sometimes falls short of the accuracy needed for efficient planning. This means that ordinarily, planning used imperfect data and public policy left room for improvement. In turn, much needed opportunities, resources, and policies are not optimized, lending us to fall short time and time again. We are also challenged by the very real danger that human activity is overwhelming the Earth's resilience and ecological balance. In our quest to maximize available resources, we have overlooked the fact that a degraded environment is immensely dangerous for all of us. Science and scientists like yourselves need to help us to make these decisions so that we do not lose time and we do not make the wrong decisions, and so that we end up with the correct prescriptions of solutions for what we must do. And so that's really my request to this institution. I have had a small intervention with the Director General, and knowing very well the value and the quality of the training that goes on in the training institute as part of this institution, I've undertaken to him that we will find, as Government of Kenya, what interventions we can make to make sure that the students who are here have access to grants and bursaries so that we can expand the numbers that are generated. And we can create more human capital that can help us make the correct decisions and provide interventions that would give us the right policy decisions. I've also agreed with him that we will find a mechanism under our public-private partnership program to see whether we can work together to provide housing and hostels so that students from other countries can also find admission in the college that is here. I am told at the moment it's mostly Kenyan students, and this being a regional center for 20 countries, we do not want to be selfish and make it a Kenyan institution. We want to share it with the rest of this great continent. It's now my pleasure to declare the third RCMRD International Conference and the fourth Africa Geo Symposium officially open. I wish you great deliberations and great outcomes. May the very good Lord bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Please be seated.